Evening, everybody. Friday, the 25th of March, 2022. It's episode 84 here of Barber's here on this Friday night. We're looking forward to a great show. Coming up, me and Gaz will take you through a few news bits this week, and then we're going to head down to Milton Keynes, where we're going to interview Jack Maude, who's one of the new breed of the barbering educators working at MK College. I saw Jack yesterday, actually, at Solihull at the National Concept Air Magazine Student of the Year Awards. So, nice to catch up with Jack again. And then we're going to go to 5 a.m. over in China, and we're going to be interviewing a very influential lady called Lin Lin. And Lin is the founder of Barber China, which is a big show out there. So it's going to be great to find out what's happening in China 2 years on from the start of coronavirus. Let's see what's happening in China and find out what's happening in the barbering scene over there. So that's all coming up tonight on episode 84 in conjunction with Wahl and the British Barbers Association. Without further ado, please welcome the one and only Mr. Glasses himself, Mr. Gary Machin.
Wow, I thought it was a little homage to you here, two Ronnies tonight. I'm going to have to take these off, to be honest. I can't see a thing. So it's good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Barbers. Before we start, I'd like to thank from last week, Nadine Farquhar and Jim Venezuela, all the way from the States, 44,500 views. Thank you, everybody, for watching last week, all our regular viewers. It's been an absolutely fantastic and manic week. I'm absolutely shattered this week. I think I'm working more hours than I've ever done, Simon. I don't know about you. It's just, the weeks just seem to be flowing by, and we're in the end of March already, episode 84. How's your week been, mate?
Really good, actually. I mean, everywhere. I went down to, I was in Rayleigh, near Southend-on-Sea on Monday night. I met up with Joe Sloan, Adam, John Power. The guys are putting on a big show down there called the Coming Home Show, which I'm comparing on the 10th of April. It's just a theatre down there, and, you know, they've got a sell out there. Lane's doing something down there as well at that time. So, if you want your tickets as well, head over to the Coming Home Show over at 88 Love to Create. I think they've still got a few tickets left. I'm co-comparing it with a guy as well I met for the first time, Gary. He's a YouTube sensation. This guy gets 33 million views per month. And it's the Food Review Club, if anybody's watched it out there. Every time I mention it, they'll say, oh, yeah, I've seen this guy. He's called Matt Binge, and he's a great guy, great character. And I've watched a few of his things afterwards, but there's one in particular. Guys, if you're watching it, go to the Food Review Club and type in the time when he eats fermented Baltic heron. And it's one of the funniest things you'll see all week this week when I've been in hotels, I've been tired, I've been late at night. I flicked it on just to watch it because it is... It's hilarious. Yeah, that's all I can say. It is one of the most funniest things I've seen on YouTube, but Matt's a great guy and I'm looking forward to comparing it with him. And there's some other important news this week. We're proud at Wahl to continue to work with different organisations, but we've signed one of the a massive sponsorship deal with the Fellowship for British Hairdressing that will guarantee our sponsorship and involvement with the Fellowship for the next 3 years. It's one of the biggest deals that the Fellowship's ever done. So that's a real good thing that's happened this week as well. And great day yesterday at Solihull. The level 2, level 3 barbering students, everybody that got through to the finals. You know, congratulations to the winners, but just getting to the finals were a big achievement. And we'll learn a bit about Barb when we speak to Jack, because he had one of his students there from MK in the final. So we'll find out a little bit of the process to do that. Competition season's all starting again and people are entering and getting in. So yeah, busy week, Gary.
I mean, talking about the heron, that sounds like my kind of thing. I like fish like that and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if I take it was horrible or very good. It's either one or the other, I guess.
So apparently it's a YouTube sensation. He's had millions of views on this one, but apparently it's a delicatessen in Sweden. It's called Stöpalmen or something. Most people will probably watch it and say, oh yeah, I've seen the clips, but you've got to watch it. Food Review Club, and you put in fermented Baltic heron, and it's a tin, and it's a compressed tin. And apparently when they have it as a delicatessen in Sweden, you have to open it up outside or in a bucket under a table because the stench is that bad.
Oh, it's horrible stench.
Yeah. So he's talking about it. He's telling people there's clips of grown men throwing up when they've had, you know, they've all done it. It's 40 quid to buy it, and apparently now the new phase is you all get drunk, you go into a greenhouse with your mates, and you have to open it and see who can stay longest. Well, there's one guy, I think he actually ran through the windows of the greenhouse. But watching Matt do it, he's trying to be professional, and he's opening the can up, and he's going, you know, they have a, and it's just before he even takes a bite out of it, he's struggling. But guys, you got to watch it.
Oh, very good.
He's funny, really funny.
You were at Solihull, I saw that. Is Yvonne Malpass still in charge now? Is she still a lot to do with that down there? Or?
I was in and out, Gary, if you want to be honest. There, Andrew Barton were there. Nice to see Andrew. It was his birthday this week, so happy birthday to Andrew. Ashley Hodges. There were just loads of people there who we all know. You know, there were some good brands there. Concept Time magazine have done a fantastic job of getting this, but that was the grand final, so you have people from all over the country that got through to the final. But I have to say, I'm going to speak to Jack about this. I'm not mentioning names, but well, the one person that spoke to me about it, actually, it wasn't there. There was lots of coaching going off from lecturers to the students. It's in an auditorium room, but it weren't very big, and everybody could get near around the competitors. And I didn't see it, but apparently there were a lot of coaching going off from lecturers to their students. And the one person that said to me, "This is not on because they're all," was the only person that wasn't coaching. So I said, I'm just here to judge. I get what you're saying, but if I'm honest with you, there's only you not doing it. Everybody else is doing it, so they're going to have a job on their hands. And I don't think you were coaching like, move at this angle. I think they were just pep talking people through it. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. But it's good to see kids at level, 1 and 2. You know, Gary, you'll know yourself as well. When we're dealing with like stuff like the Wahl Barber of the Year, it's the very highest level. That is the highest level because it's live. So it's not a photographic competition. It's the highest level. So when you come down to compete and you're watching and you're having to judge level 2 and level 3, you have to put it into perspective that they've had 1.5 years training or a year's training. Yeah. So the level that they do, even if there's like it's not quite blended into the way it should be, and I've got to say the final, they all did really well, especially the level 2 guys. They were really good. I was blown away with the standard, but you always have to think this kid here has only had a year's training, so to come and do that, he's done really well. So yeah, it was a good. We'll find a bit more when we speak to Jack actually down in Milton Keynes. So coming up tonight, we've got Jack, who's one of the new breed of barber lecturers in colleges. He'll be good to interview tonight, and we're going over then to China to Lin Lin. Do you know much about Lin Lin?
She's one of those people in China that's causing waves. Her family has got a huge heritage within the hairdressing and beauty industry within China. So, I mean, you know yourself, China's a huge country. You're talking huge numbers of people when you go to an exhibition. And she's going to have some interesting stories because they've had a bit of a drama at one of their main exhibitions this last couple of weeks. So we're going to hopefully get the lowdown on that. 60,000 people got locked in one of the exhibitions, got closed down after 2 days. So we're going to get the lowdown on that. But she has got very, very, very well connected within the industry, and she speaks great English. So there'll be hopefully it's 5 o'clock in the morning there. So hopefully we won't have any connection problems. But I'm really looking forward to it. She's a lady that very, very interesting, and her family's got great history within the industry. So yeah, she should be very interesting.
Good. And we've got the fellowship project men coming over to you and the BBA on Monday over at your good place at Rogers.
Yeah, that's it. So you're coming over to RB training. I think we've got most of the guys on. I'm just saying earlier on, it's Mother's Day. I bet some of them are going to get some stick for Mother's. Well, I've even had to bow out of my Mother's Day charges. I took my flowers and card last night because I know I'm going to meet you and we'll be doing last minute stuff on Sunday.
I said, my daughter said that she's doing for her mum, and my mum, and Tina's mum. They're all going to, so they're having a girly day. And she says, "You don't mind this from about 4 weeks ago?" And I'm like, "That's fine." Didn't realise that, obviously. And so for me, I can't go out to my local on Sunday afternoon, which I like a Sunday. So I'm gonna have to come over there, and I like a Sunday afternoon. I put it in the group today, and I think one of the girls on the project said, "Oh, great, training at 3. Is that extra?" I'm like, no. I mean, I'm going out for a session on a beer, not a training session at 3 o'clock on Sunday. I thought she was going to have a beer with me.
Well, he made me giggle because I thought she's got the wrong end of the stick there, because we're on the group chat, and I thought she'll realise when the comments start coming through. So we might have, I think we might have half a dozen, we might have 5 of them, something like that, on Sunday evening beforehand. I think about half of them are travelling up on the day or getting there really late. I know Alex, I think he's got some family commitments, so he won't get there till late. But you know, we'll have a even if
for this.
Sorry,
he's the press man for this. He needs to be there. I'll whip him tomorrow. He's a good lad, Alex. Good lad.
So, you know, hopefully we'll have a pint. If nothing else, we'll grab a quick bite to eat or something and see what time everybody gets there. If people get there late, then we'll just have a quick pint, and then we'll see where we go from there. So, but I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, it's looking good. So we've got a full day's training. Got lunch on and everything. Everything's set. Everything's ready for you to get there. We've got some products for you, and hopefully we'll have an enjoyable day.
We're all looking forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be a big day. I think we are getting ready for Jack coming in. There's one thing I want to speak to you about, Gary, is just looking now at colleges and stuff. I was speaking to colleges yesterday, and we'll probably touch on it just after his guests have been on today. But I think there's been a big influx as well of older students, more mature students wanting to go into college to get their training. And I think a lot of colleges are offering like block courses just on barbering. And then I've had some barbers who have said, "I'd love to teach at a college." So I'm hoping that we can marry things up here on Barber's Arms, where you can put a bit of spin on what colleges, if they're listening, what they can put on like block courses for barbering. Or a year's qualification on an evening, so people can still do the day job. They can come and learn to be a barber on an evening. I'm talking here 25 to 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds who want to do barbering, but they want to carry on with the normal job. And then there's an opportunity where barbers want to go in and do that training.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been the case, hasn't it? You know, I've been in training now for such a long time that we've seen it come full circle. And we need people to come in, especially great barbers to come in and teach. So it'll be really interesting talking to Jack and see what, you know, how MK College are doing that and how they're introducing that. But it's always been the problem to get great barbers to come in and give the time. Perhaps not, the pay's not as good as it used to be years ago. But these are all things that we can touch on. And I'm sure, hopefully, all those that are watching tonight, all our usual guests, all our usual people who, and anybody who's got any input that they want to bring up on experiences with colleges and, you know, how they can get involved, please get in touch with us. I know we've got Mark Walters, we've got Pivot Point, Tammy Reynolds, got Rach, as usual. Lin Lin's here. She's watching from China already. So good morning, Lin Lin. So we want people to get involved and ask questions and tell us what they want, what the employers. These are the people who we've got grabbed by the balls kind of thing, and get them to buy into apprenticeships and training. So yeah,
I got asked a question quickly yesterday on stage about what do you think's been the difference in barbering? And I think the last 10 years have been massive, and it's been the biggest growth side of it. I think he's getting back. I think we had a bit of a knock after lockdown, people packing in, going into different jobs. It's coming back. It's like back to not far away from where it were before. Probably this time next year, it'll be back to full swing. But there was one thing I just say to the students while everybody were listening, and were like, I was talking to a couple of barbers the other day, and something had come to my attention, and I class myself sometimes, even if they don't work for me. Sometimes I give people a phone and say, "Oh, I heard you stepped out of line a bit. Just watch what you." It's almost like policing people. But I did say to the interviewer, I said, but these guys now are like rock stars, and this is what's helping the influence of the next generation coming through, because they're looking at Instagrams, social medias, they're looking at these guys with the gear that they wear and the cars that they're driving. These are barbers. This wouldn't have happened 15, 20 years ago. So it's still that massive growth. And the two barbers in particular, two great guys. And I said, we're talking about two guys here in the 20s who are earning 70, 80 grand a year. This is not what it used to be. Barbering is a massive, massive elevation. And for me, you know, it's just excelled itself in the last 10 years. And I think, you know, in the next 12 months, we're going to get back to the real rich days. Big part of that as well is going to college and learning your stuff. Now, this next guy, if you were going to college and he told you to do an haircut, you'd do it, because this bastard is bigger than Eddie Hall. I've never seen anybody as big in terms of muscles to do barbering electric. So without further ado, we're going to head down to Milton Keynes right now and welcoming on Barber's Arms here for the first time. We've got a young man who came to my attention through my lead educator, Sam Campagna at Wahl. He'd been doing some work at Milton Keynes College. Milton Keynes has always been a very progressive college. They've always tried things out new, whether that be in hairdressing or catering. They've got a right nice bistro there. They had the Wall's Men's Method for a period of time. So they've always done well. And this young man is doing the real good stuff down there and leading how barbering education should be done in colleges. So without further ado, please welcome our main educator from MK College in Milton Keynes, Mr. Jack Maude. Welcome to
right. How are you? You both all right?
We're very well, mate. I was just saying to Gary before, don't be saying out wrong to him. He's as big as Eddie Hall.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, but he can't get to me in Stoke just at this minute. So I'm getting grilling tonight.
Yeah.
Unless we up, he'll grab me by the throat next time we see each other. So that's good. Welcome to the Barber's Arms. How are you, Jack?
Yeah, I'm great. It's to be here, to be honest. Well excited. Yeah, it's been when Simon told me about it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm great. I'll be there, be down. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Very good. Well, we know you're the lead educator at MK College because Simon's just led us into that, and he's been speaking very highly of you. Just for our viewers out there, what's your background? Give us a quick 2-minute bio of who you are and what you are, then, Jack.
Well, I'm the course team leader for level 2, level 3 barbering at Milton Keynes. Yeah, what would you want to know? What history, or do you?
Yeah, well, how long have you been in the industry? What's your background in the industry?
I've been in for a number of years now. I didn't actually start in barbering, although I'm maybe covered in tattoos, and it may appear that I did, but I didn't actually start in barbering. I kind of ended up in barbering actually, and yeah, the moment I started cutting hair, I just knew that that's where my passion and my love for it came from, really, and then just kind of escalated from there, really.
Very good. So Milton Keynes College, what are your numbers like at the moment? Is it a popular course at the moment?
Yeah, we've had continual growth. It's I used to be a student there, so I know what it was like to be a student there, seeing it from a teacher's perspective. So I suppose you get the fuller picture. But yeah, we've had year-on-year growth since we've been there. And then last year we were lucky to have the barbering department built. So we had a smaller department first that was kind of merged with hairdressing. And then what they did now is they sectioned out another room in the main building. So we've got a walkthrough where the students walk. So I wanted everyone to see what we were doing. So it just makes it easier when you're teaching to showcase what you're doing. So yeah, I've been quite lucky and fortunate really now. So and I've been working with Simon, I've been working with Sam, I've been trying to work with as many barbers as I can, because the young ones are the exciting future of what's to come.
Well, I mean, that's fantastic. I think there's been a lot of investment in colleges at the moment. I mean, Sunderland, they're having commercial salons, you know, on the roadside, or, you know, very, very, like you've just said. So they're very positive. They can be seen by the public, general public. They're used as a commercial barbershop now. And I think there's been a lot of investment in that, and it's great to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent about. Like, we was at the Learner of the Year yesterday, and some of the work there was, honestly, from some people who've only been doing it for that short amount of time, it is really, really impressive to see them doing that. Because I remember when I first started, I wasn't being able to be that creative that quick, where most people were having a 2 back and sides. But Yeah, it's beautiful to see them develop that much. So quite fortunate.
You know, I met Jack a few weeks ago, and Sam had spoke about him, and I'd seen a few photographs. But I met him a few weeks ago when we did a Project Men Day there. And what struck me about Jack was the nice his disposition with the students. But we had some students there as models, and you'd think once they had their haircut, they'd go. But we did some presenting skills in the afternoon. Every one of them stayed behind, which is a testament. I always think students reflect the lecturer. You know, you saw yesterday the finalists that were there. You see them quite a lot at finals. Yeah. Alison Brightwell with her guys from Easter and College. It's down to the lecturers. They put loads in. They want them to win. And so it's not by luck that this is happening. It's not by luck you're getting through to finals. It's by the work that you're all putting in. Jack, coming on Barber's Arms, I say, not meeting you formally till maybe last month. I've seen you loads since.
Yeah.
Every time I turn that round the corner, you're there. I think you're fucking talking. But it's great for you to be on Barber's Arms. I'm going to ask you some questions about your career, a few
go on.
questions at the end, and then we'll part as ways.
Cool.
First of all, tell us about for lecturers that's watching, Pivot Point watch this show every week as well. What's the philosophy behind your barbering education to students, to level 1, level 2, level 3? What is your barbering philosophy to learners?
Well, when I started barbering, like I had to really graft, because I started a bit later. I had a job. I'm not long finished my degree. I'd changed my job from that to learn barbering. I had bills to pay, so I had to really graft that trade. And students are really lucky. They're really fortunate now because they get to do a 2-year course, in some cases on 19s for free, depending on your financial background. Again, you get supported by the government, and that wasn't really available as much before, or you had to really search for that. So there's a much bigger picture with barbering. Like I find I was never just about just doing the haircut and putting money in my pocket. That was not why I got into it at all. I just found that I could really express what I wanted to do with my clients. And then when I started getting that rapport from them, and they came back to you, and then you end up talking to them and talking to them more, and they invite you to things, and at Christmas they tip you for no more than they should, and they buy you things. And it was just that feeling of you always done something good in your day. It was always a good day. Most jobs come with something negative, but barbering generally is a good day. Yeah, you might have a long day, but ultimately you're just chatting to your friends all day. So with students, I wanted them to see the bigger picture, that it's more than just, oh yeah, I want to be a barber and I want to have an Audi R8. You know, it's a lot more than that. To some people, you're almost some people's best friend without them telling you that, because some people get quite lonely. You see great things and you see sad things. So it's quite an honor to be a barber, really, because you get to play a massive role in people's lives. You help children discover their first personality with their first little look. You see mums let go of their babies becoming boys, because when they get the curls cut off and they want to put them in bags. And you see guys when they're getting married, looking at how excited they are. And you see guys who maybe looking for their first date. You see guys who are preparing for funerals. So you play a huge part in these people's lives, and you see them so frequently. So I wanted them to see that and try and get that in the education part, that when they're learning to cut hair, that their role is more than they may think it is. So they need to put more than just a little bit of effort. They need to put passion and love into what they're doing, because if that's not there, then generally that's probably not the right career, because at some point along that path, when you're just cutting hair all day, if you haven't got that love for it, you'll fall out of love for it quickly. So I wanted them to really see their future right at the start, really, and hopefully then building blocks with as much input as we could give them, then hopefully they should blossom really well from that.
Do you find that sometimes as well, Gary, you'll do this as well because you've got kids. Do you feel like that you parent them a bit as well when they come in? You see them once a week or twice a week or every day. Do you feel like you do parent them a bit as well as educate them?
Yeah. I think like nowadays education changes every year. Like the world changes all the time, so education changes too. You know, young people now, what they have to think about and do while they're there is much more than I remember when I was at school and at college. And you play a role in that because you guide them in making decisions. Sometimes they make bad ones, even though you've told them not to. But that's the parenting part, I find. And I generally, like this year, I've got over 40 kids, you know, and each year that's a lot of kids, you know. So I think you have to be consistent with that and know that each person, you have to tailor the kind of education to them because they're all so different. But that's what I think barbering's so interesting, because those people will create something that you won't think of, and that's the beauty of it. So like yesterday at the show, you watch these people do things you'd never would have thought about, because that's who they are. So yeah, you do play that dad role. As much, I don't have children myself, but I don't feel I need to because I've got so many, you know. So
do you know what? I think that's a great way of looking at it as well. Jack, just for our viewers and everything,
yeah.
Your journey into teaching, for start off with. I mean, I know I fell into teaching from a long time ago. It was 93 I started, I think. And when I started in the college, there's no qualification. We're in such a different place now.
Yeah.
Your journey, what made you want to go into teaching? What was, your route into teaching from a qualification, or was it you were in a barbershop, then you wanted, what made you want to go into teaching, and what qualities do you think you needed to get in there?
Well, my route was never really linear, to be honest. I started helping out when I was at school in an English lesson, and I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was younger. And I thought, I like teaching. Maybe teaching's a good way for me. So then I went to college and I did a childhood and youth studies course. And then I liked that, and I then thought, why don't I go and learn a little bit more about like youth psychology? So I did a childhood and youth psychology degree, and then I did a certificate in effective practice with youth justice because I wanted to help troubled children. And then I ended up falling out of that path and then got into barbering. And then along that path, I was lucky that me, myself, and my colleague who works with me at the college, Georgia Herbert, she works with me, and we were working in the Barbers, same Barbers together. And then one day we got this call from the college, and they were really needed some support at the time because the tutor was leaving. So they wanted us to come and almost coach and see what we could do to help the course stay learning and keep them basically excited and inspired by that. And when we got started there, we ended up staying. And it's when you look at your life, you kind of look back and you think, well, if I didn't do all these different things, and if I didn't do that in training, then I wouldn't have been prepared to do that in the first place. It was just it just happened for me. And then I got the two loves of where I started, and then the love for barbering, and now I get to put them together. So
that's really, really different. I mean, you've gone through the training of teacher training, and then come into barbering, and then went back which is really, really unusual. I mean, most barbers get into barbering, become great barbers, and then they either want to change direction, or they want to give back, or whichever reason. I mean, I got asked by our local college. I did 10 years in our local college, but it was something I never, at 23, I didn't really want to do, but I took control of it because I wanted to take control of our own staff training, and that's why I got into teaching to further our business. But I think if you got some advice, because I think what in our industry, especially in colleges and especially in training, we've got loads and loads of great talented barbers.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've got a real shortage of them to teach in especially in colleges. So what we need is how would you say a barber gets involved in his local college? What's he got to do or she got to do to get into their local college and start teaching?
I think the first part is every college really, like, there is a curriculum, but that curriculum can only work effectively if you get support from industry. Me teaching and Georgia teaching haircuts doesn't really it inspires them so much. But then because you play that parent role, seeing you do that all the time, they get used to you just being the teacher. But then when you get industry in, so when we got Sam Campagna in and he does some training with other members and he's using your hair as a model, that brings all of what we've been talking about to life, because you've then given them a spark of, oh my God, that could be me. So I think if you want to get into teaching, offer the college the support, because anything that you're doing, although you may think you can't teach or it's too hard to teach, being able to do a skin fade in 30 minutes or 40 minutes is so much faster than learners. And all your experience, even if you don't think you've got enough, is experience. And you can't really buy that in barbering. You have to go out and view it. And some people struggle to do that part. And where most shops you've been to, even if you've been to show work, all of that is really empowering to young people, because they see the reality of where they could be. And I think that's the most important part, is where they could be. And I think the more people, that's why I try and encourage as many people to help us as possible, because for us, I want the shops to have barbers that apply to them want to be there. So they've seen Sam working, oh, I really want to work for Sam. So then when they go for interview, it should be an easy interview, because they want to be there. So they'll stay there, they'll keep retention in the shops. No more job hopping. And then for us, we get all of these other methods, which, you know, are so worthwhile to young people when they're learning, because barbering, it's not just one way. There's so many different techniques and different ideas. And I think if you really want to give something to teaching, I think just offering your support and then just seeing how that blossoms, because I can assure you from experience of how we've got to here is from all of those people who have supported us. So really lucky that that's happened. But yeah, I think that's the best way to get stuck in there, really.
No, I think you're spot on, to be fair, and it's not easy, because it's like I was saying yesterday, that competitions, you've got to realise what level they're at, and so you're coming out of this, which is really good. I think all lecturers, if you can, commercial, still working in a barbershop and then teaching it is the best, because you're going to get them kids game ready quicker than if you're not. It's a fact. But yeah, you just got to make sure that, you know, like you said, watching it yesterday, it's like it's difficult. It's weird because it's improved so much, but it's still like we were saying at the top of the show, when you're judging our competition, it's like fucking the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
When you come down there, you've got to think, well, this kid might have only been learning 6 months, a year. You know, so I think wherever they get to, you know, they've done really well. I think Gaz has got a beer that he keeps to himself all week. Fetch out with his stupid black shirt on, and he's not tanned. What is it this week you're drinking? Looks horrible.
You're glad you missed this one anyway. We've got a local beer here. This is all the way from about 4 miles away from me. It's called Titanic, and it's called Plum Porter. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a porter, so it's a dark ale. It's a 4.9. It's in Burslem. This brewery's been going since 1985. They do a full range of beers. The reason I didn't send you this one is because they do some lagers and an IPA as well, but I couldn't find them anywhere that are close to you, and I could only. So what I did is bought 3 of the same. So I've got.
You'll be fed up of it by tonight, then. Do you drink, Jack? Are you drinking?
Oh well, only occasionally, but I have got one.
What is it?
This is a pre-workout, so I'm going to gym later. But it's not. It's a little bit stronger than maybe what you were.
Okay, now. Like something we throw up next morning. We will get some of that pre-work. It's not the one that like sends you off your tits, is it? That one where it gets you.
Yeah, it's got about 4,000 milligrams of caffeine in. Yeah.
I've got some here, guys. You take it literally, and like you're wired. You're like edging out. It's really good.
We don't need any of that. We're wide enough.
But you can't sleep on it. It's impossible to sleep on stuff like that. You have to like work it off. Don't forget to follow Simon Shaw Wahl. Gaz is the British Barber. Barber_Ram. Them's our Instagram accounts. If you want to watch any of the past 83 episodes, and including this one, 84, and all the podcasts are on there. That's on our website, which is thebarbersarms.co.uk. If you want to email us, it is barbersarms@thebritishbarber.com. Jack, quick question for you. If you could teach one barber in the industry, who would you like to get? Forget he might be a big icon or she might be a big icon now or a big name in the industry. But looking at who they are now, who would you like to get back to that and like say, well, I trained that person? Who would it be?
Well, just put me on the spot now.
That's what the show's.
You know, it's a hard one, yeah, because for me, like Sam Campagna and Tom Chapman, when I was learning, were massive to me, and like I'm lucky that I work with them. If I could have them in a class together, then I would 100% say yeah, that'd be awesome.
So, have you modelled yourself on Tom as well, or not?
You know, it's so funny you say that, because when I posted that photo, people were like, Jack, why are you wearing I've never seen you in a shirt before. I was like, no, that's Tom. That's Tom.
We were saying on the top of the show yesterday, a few people were saying yesterday, competitions like I don't know if you saw it, people's influence from the audience to the competitors on the floor. Did you see any of that yesterday?
Yeah.
For me personally, I don't know how that can change, you know, for me to change something. I was walking around and I was trying to give a little bit of inspiration. I was saying to one guy, you're doing really well, but move your chair because you haven't got the best light. Spin it around you, and he turned it and was like, oh, thank you. And that, you help people as they're all nervous. I kept walking around with one guy and he was like shaking his head. I'm like, calm down. It's a competition. You got the final. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I said to my student, I said, please, the first thing you do, just move that chair. Please don't just. I saw people trying to cut, and the left side was stuck to the turn. I thought, why are you doing this to yourself? Yeah. Just move things. Move. Yeah. I know. I did feel sorry for them, bless them. It was the barbers. It was tight in that barber bit. That was tight.
Tight, really tight. Yeah, it's a good day though. Good day.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great day.
Inspiration, I think, and it gives them a taste of being on stage and different things. Just before we go, and I know we're losing time now, but we were talking about this just before we came on, Jack. The cross section of people that you attract at your college. I don't know about you know, what kind of courses you're running at the moment, but are you getting a lot of people who are coming into the industry, change of career, you know, all the what we used to call, when I was in college, it was mature students. We used to do like part-time evenings and stuff like that. We seem to be getting a huge influx at the moment in our training school of people who want to change career, want to get into barbering sexy at the moment. Are you seeing that? Is that trend happening at MK?
Yeah, 100%. The age range is so vast now. We got students over their 40s. We've had people who apply who are over 50s. Yeah, it's really, really common now. We have quite a few this year. I think it's great. I think it's great that you look at your career and that you're not happy and you see something else and you think that's where you'll be happier. And, you know, we've had a massive influx of lady barbers, which is amazing. The course has grown with lots of girls who want to come into industry, which is amazing. So yeah, we're seeing a massive change in the last few years in that age range and in those people, which is great.
Do you offer apprenticeships as well?
Yeah, we do. This again in Milton Keynes. It's just getting the support from a lot of the local barbers to want to do that, because there's so many independent chains. Again, it's just a constant battle, really. If they I just hope that some will wake up and see the bigger picture, that we're in the same game. It's not always competition. You can help each other out, but yeah, we do run apprenticeships, which is good. I hope that we can run more in more local shops. But yeah. So it's always a battle. It's always a battle.
That's the way to go, mate. That's the way to go. That's how to get decent trained barbers.
Yeah. Well, we're going to finish off some quick fire questions to you, Jack, and then we're going to head over to China to interview our next guest coming up very shortly, which is Lin Lin, who is the founder of Barber China, the big show that's happening out there. And we'll find out what's happening over there as well. We've got Jack Maude here, who is the coordinated lead educator at Milton Keynes College for Barbering. And Jack, we're going to finish off some quick fire questions. What's your favourite drink?
My drink? What, alcohol?
Yeah. Or any drink. What's your favourite drink?
Hard. I'd say amaretto is probably my favourite.
What's your favourite food?
Ice cream. I'm a massive ice cream fan. Yeah.
That's a first.
That's a first.
Honestly, it's a terrible habit, but I am.
What's your favourite ice cream?
I love Ben and Jerry's, man. Any Ben and Jerry's is good. I probably have about 3 or 4 tubs a week. I'm not lying.
Oh wow! Where's your favourite destination?
I would love to go to China. To be honest, I'd love to see the Great Wall of China. I've never been, but I would love to go.
What's your favourite music?
It depends on my mood. I'm open to anything. I love tech house, but I can also go for classical. So it just depends on my mood.
If you got one last thing to put on your playlist, what would the album that you'd use? What's the last album you could have?
I do like Charlotte Dwight and Age of Love. I'm going to see her live in a few weeks' time. So yeah, she's pretty good.
Love. And if you could have an ideal dinner date with somebody from the past or the present, you could fetch somebody back, who would you like to have a couple of hours with where you could have a meal and have a chat? Who would be your ideal dinner date?
What, in the industry or just in general?
Just in general, anybody.
I would
anybody.
I would like to bring my granddad back because he passed before he saw what I've achieved in education. So it would be nice to have a chat with him and tell him that I got what I wanted eventually. Yeah.
Okay, Jack, well done, mate. We've got Jack Maude from Milton Keynes College having his favourite drink, amaretto. I hope he's having a Coke in there, turning into a Dr. Pepper's. He's eating his favourite 3 tubs of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, 3 a week. That's some ice cream. Do you get ice cream headaches sometimes? He's doing all this in his favourite destination, which would be in China, just overlooking. You can put your pots of ice cream on the wall.
Yeah.
Doing all this, listening to some Angel of Love, and he's sat down with his granddad and reminiscing and telling him how well he's done in his education. So he could be super proud of you. Well done, Jack. It's great to have you on Barber's Arms, and we'll catch up soon, buddy.
Yeah,
well done.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to meet you, mate. We'll catch up very soon, I'm sure. We'll come down.
Oh.
Producer then had total control.
His new nickname's the Guillotine.
Off at the net.
Talking of him as well, he's getting ready for his worldwide tour. He's going out to America, to Canada, to Far East, and then he's coming up to the UK. We're meeting him in Dubai. He's got a real big trip coming up from next Thursday onwards. So just before we get our next guest on as well, our next show will be from Dubai. So we're looking around about the 19th to 26th. We don't know the date yet. Hopefully to get that out from Dubai as well for you guys. So our next show, we're going to have a month off here. And we'll be back with our next show, which will be episode 85. And that's going to come from Dubai. So without further ado, we're going to go. I think it's going to be 5 a.m. over, or 4:45 or 4:45 over in China. And we're going to interview a young lady who is very influential out there, actually. And she and her family, the founders of the Barber China show. So we'll go and find out what's been happening over there since lockdown. And there's an interesting story of something that's happened very recently, which I'll let Gaz ask her the question about that. So we'll find out how 60,000 people got locked in a building. That's all coming up now. So without further ado, let's welcome from China, Lin Lin. We're just having some... Is he coming in from China? Oh, there we go. Barber China. Lin Lin, hi. How you doing?
Hello. Hi, Simon. How are you?
Yeah, very well. How are you?
I'm really good. It's a bit early for me, but I try not to look like I just woke up.
Well, you've succeeded. You look fantastic. So welcome to Barber's Arms. I know it's very early in China. Which part of China are you from?
I am originally from Canton, Guangzhou. I was born here. I'm actually currently in Guangzhou because our show just got shut down on the second day of the show, almost 10 days ago. So I'm still here cleaning up, wrapping up.
Wow. So Lin Lin, it's lovely to have you on the show. You've got a really you've got a prestigious background in your family as well. Just you've just touched on that, and we found out about what happened there. Just give us a quick roundup of what happened at your show, because it was quite traumatic, I hear.
That's correct. The show is called China's International Beauty Expo. My mother founded it in 1989, so it's been on for 33 years. And so in March is our spring show, and we got the go ahead from the authorities, and then on the second day afternoon around 2 o'clock, we were asked to close the show for not letting anybody out, not letting anybody in. So we have to wait on site, and basically there were a sort of short period of panic because everyone was like, okay, we're trapped. What's going on inside? That someone got COVID. And the authorities sent about 900 staff, COVID testing staff on site, and we have official numbers is about 50,000, but I think there were a little bit more. And then basically, I actually sent the video that I shot overlooking the people waiting in line to get the test, and then we all came out negative, but it was quite a daunting experience for me. And the fact that we, as a trade show organizer, we want everyone to have a good experience, and we really took a lot of risk to host this show because people want to do businesses and people want to have a face-to-face time, you know. And it was a bit tough for us, but we understand the authorities' concern. And basically, for the first time in our show, we got shut down, and we had to stop. So now Shanghai's in lockdown. I normally live in Shanghai. I'm actually in my mother's house, and the reason why that I kind of put a background on because I'm in my bedroom at this hour, and hopefully my mother don't knock on my door, come in and check on me. So yeah, so that's basically what happens. And then the venue was shut down for almost 8 days before we could get all the exhibitors items out. So that's the reason why that we've been working and we're still here.
So what's the current situation in Shanghai then? Is Shanghai completely on lockdown at the minute?
We are not always in lockdown. I think the clever strategy was district by district compound. It goes on a group system. So it's taking turns locking down and testing. But our offices are closed and everyone was advised to work at home. It's a little bit like the beginning of 2020 when I basically rushed back from Australia on my train mission back in Shanghai. The streets are fairly empty. I think the biggest difficulty were for those who are small and medium businesses who we are trying to serve. And also, I think at this time, people's spirits are a bit fragile. And I think, but the interesting thing is, whenever I remember back in 2020, and I'm still working on the documentary that I was filming, was that the first the first place that people came out of quarantine is barbershops, and
Okay.
and people felt, you know, especially men, you know, they fairly dominant gender in our society, that when they came to their barbers, and I interviewed several barbers, and hopefully they have a chance to come on here to meet you guys, was the fact that they felt a sense of connection with their barbers that they never had. It's the first person they see out of, you know, quarantine, and I find that very touching and respectable profession to be in, when you serve your clients right and give that trust and make them feel like that after they, you know, the first person to see, you know, and I enjoy listening to them whenever there is a lockdown and there is something difficult, what they encounter in their shop space. I think it's very interesting.
Oh, I mean, that's great to hear from an industry point of view. I think that's very heartening, and it's great to hear, you know, from a China point of view, and for an industry throughout. We were told by our producers, even though it's really, really early for you, Lin Lin, have you got a drink going on there? What are you drinking today?
I'm drinking coffee, and also I will be drinking Codico 1530. It's a tequila. I'm more a tequila girl.
Oh,
You're my new hero.
So I can show you right here.
oh,
I believe you. Wow.
Yes. So I have a feeling I was warned by Anna that Simon will have some unexpected questions. So I might have a drink then.
Yeah, well, we've got a few for you coming up. I mean, just tell us generally what's it like in, because we're just not, the word celebrating is not, it's the anniversary of 2 years on Tuesday just gone this week since the UK went into its first lockdown. So it's quite a poignant week. You guys were in there a little bit before us. What's the plans now? How is China? What's happening in general? Is everything just completely back to normal, or is there certain things that's changed?
I think a lot changed, because the beginning we were being blamed by, you know, as where the virus started. So we were very cautious, and we had a very strict, policies. And then things got back to normal very quickly within China, and luckily, actually, barbering industry sort of booming within the last 2 years, and the idea of self-caring and improvement for especially men, actually, so booming, like gym, like exercise, healthy diet, and looking good and looking decent. And I think that's something that we can see in my industry. But what happened was, when everywhere was opening up, we had a lot of people trying to get into the country that had COVID, or not seeing it as a virus, to a completely, let's say, non-touched by COVID country suddenly. So it's quite ironic, because I think the authority now is trying to close the country by not suddenly letting everyone come in and letting letting it spread. A lot of non-syndrome cases came out, and so I think we are not quite sure. Barber China is supposed to open, like our Shanghai show. We have 6 shows a year in China, in Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou, in major cities. And the next show is supposed to be in Shanghai, where I'm responsible for, and in my city. And what happened was, right now, we got the notice from the authorization that we have authorities that we have to postpone to the second half of the year. So we're supposed to kickstart our call for a nationwide competition for Barber China. We now have to put a pause on it.
Well, that was going to be my next question, Lin Lin. I mean, you come from, you know, a fantastic family of entrepreneurs that have opened the biggest shows in China. And you mentioned your mother, which, you know, 33 years, the biggest beauty shows in China. You're taking over the mantle now for Barber China, and you're pushing the barber industry all around the country, which is great to hear. And the BBA are very proud to be hopefully part of that as well. And I just wanted you to touch on, and if you can share with our viewers, what are your plans? What do you want to do with Barber China? What's the way forward? And you just said, because Barber China, for the viewers out there that didn't know, was supposed to happen in mid-May, wasn't it? So now it's been pushed back to, as you just said, the second half. So what is Barber China? What do you hope to achieve with Barber China?
I think from my past, I mean, I always have interest in barbering, because I think it's a very intimate, it's a very intimate industry. Since young, I grew up watching my mother hosting the first ever competition in the 80s in different regions. So for Barber China, I'm interested in basically making it into a voices for all genders to help men looking good and help men looking after themselves. So it's a little bit beyond, I hope that it's going to be a platform beyond just looking good, but also self-care, and also about the decency, the decent treatment that we can give between people, especially to men. I mean, growing up as a woman amongst men, I don't know if it's the same as I growing up looking at the industry. Men is actually the second sex of beauty industry as consumers, but they are the dominant gender for business owners. So I always think that people, you know, there's so much product and services serving women, but in China for a long time, Chinese men's needs were overlooked. I mean, the interesting example for you will be, we have people always say, oh, the 70% of the beauty, 97% of the beauty industry's incomes are coming from women, and men's using women products. Men's, you know, were okay to do that, but in fact, in the past 4 years, since 2019, the men's consumer in the barbering and also beauty industry, so wellness industry, has been triple the sales online and offline, and there is an increase of 98% demand of self-care products during COVID, and that's a lot for Chinese consumers. And you can find it on Tmall and everything. And that was a really interesting thing to see. So for Barber China, I want to represent the modern international Chinese men's self-care and improvement standards on mostly education and platform-based. So I really want to mention just now, Jack, you know, I really respect that. If he ever comes to China, my family and I will receive him and have plenty of ice cream for him.
You need a lot of ice cream.
Well, I have plenty. And I really, you know, I think whenever you are granted and gifted the knowledge and the ability to learn and to serve, you either teach or tolerate. And I respect all of you for teaching. And I think for a platform like Barber China, is mostly from a facilitating and teaching platform for the community. And I hope Barber China is not just on barbering, but is starting from this sector, reflecting and amplifying to the general, to become a beloved community.
Do you know what? I think this is the quietest me and Gary's been on Barber's Arms, because you've been really captivating with what you're saying, and I really like it. I'm going to say something to you now, is that dealing with Gary and Danny in Wahl, China, Anna Elliott, particularly the guys at Wahl, when we go to global meetings, Wahl China is stepping it up so much, so good in their presentations, the competitions that we're running over there. And when I listen to you about what you want to offer for your shows, you're becoming the leading country in moving forward, and not looking at what you've done in the past and copy and pasting. You're doing it brand new, and I kind of love the way that everything that's coming out of China at the moment is really strong, really strong.
Thank you.
I complimented Gary Tan, our marketing manager at Wahl. I've been on some really late night calls with him this week, and then I just said some of the stuff he's doing is absolutely fantastic. And we need to look. Over the years, people looked at the UK, the marketing, the photographs, and things that we've done. And I'm like, our marketing guys need to look at what you're doing, because it's like breathtaking. It's really good. And I know that's Wahl stuff, but I think just having you on to the show tonight just shows everybody else who runs shows and organise shows in the UK. Can you imagine, Gary, at Barber Connect at Telford, there's only 5,000 people go to this one, Lin Lin, in Telford, but Matt and Dan will run it from Barbers. Can you imagine people coming in and closing it down and keeping all those barbers in the room? It'd be like carnage.
Well,
I'll be drinking,
Michael, nice and relaxed over it, and she's done it well.
It was quite funny, because Lin Lin sent us a video of all these people patiently queuing at numerous exits trying to be tested. I mean, 50,000 plus people all locked in the hall and not allowed to leave until they tested negative. I mean, it's quite unbelievable. You can't imagine it happening anywhere else, in such an orderly fashion. Just before our time is quickly slipping away, Lin Lin. I know, that there's going to be some collaboration with the BBA, hopefully, when we come over to you and what we're doing. Another thing you were talking about when with Trevor as well, and our producer, is the Barber Association back out in China and the hairdressing associations. What's happening there? Is there something that you're going? There's a certain direction that you want to go into, or what? How's that featuring at the moment? Oh, have you got us?
Hello. I think something is wrong on something is talking. Something is talking on the. One sec. Can you hold on to one? Something about battery is going on. Hold on 1 second. Something about battery is speaking.
It's early morning for this, isn't it, for him?
5 o'clock in the morning. You're doing great. Don't worry.
Hold on 1 second. Something about battery.
Yes. It's early morning for this, isn't it, for him?
5 o'clock in the morning. You're doing great. Don't worry.
Sorry about that. There you go. I'm back. 1 sec.
Yeah. Well, just while we're waiting.
Yes. Would you? I am back. Sorry.
Oh, are you okay?
Yes, I'm back because there was something else going on this computer. My apology, Gary. Would you mind repeat your questions again? Sorry, we're losing time.
Has Mum sorted out your tech issues? Has she come to your rescue?
Not my mum. Was my boyfriend kindly stay up for me? I mean,
Oh.
right now it's 5:05, so he managed to help me. I mean, he's an engineer, so thank God.
Well, that's great. Thanks for your boyfriend. What I said earlier is, you know, hopefully we're collaborating with you with the BBA, with the British Barbers Association, but the associations in China at the moment, is that something you want to work towards? What's the situation with hairdressing and barbering at the moment in China? I think we've lost it again.
The same thing happened again.
We can hear you.
You can hear me. Sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. You keep talking.
I'm so sorry that I think.
It's okay.
Yes,
Why don't you got a tequila to calm you down?
Okay. Oh, blimey.
There you go. Yes, I love it. She's top girl here on Barber's Arms. This is
Right. I'm here. I'm back.
7 minutes past 5 a.m. in China. We've got Lin Lin, the main person behind Barber China, and she's just had a shot of tequila. You're the first and you're the best. Well done, mate. Absolutely fantastic. Well done. Love it.
Well, it's good. Well, I'm back, and the voices is gone. I mean, I'm actually really excited about getting the guidance from the BBA. This is the first time that I call out for overseas authorization, like authorities and organizations like yours, to guide me, to help me, to advise me. And I hope that although the show will be postponed, we will not do the show. We will do the show. So I'm very much looking forward to working with you guys. And the reason why I call the BBA first is because I used to live in London for many years, and I find it, and I also learn a lot, not just from building a platform, because formerly I'm actually a designer, anthropologist, and completely a different field. I ran away from my family business for a long time because I felt.
You lived in London, didn't you? You live in London?
Yeah, I lived
Whereabouts?
in London. I lived in Notting Hill for a long time, like between Labrador and Elgin. And I went to Chelsea, I went to LCC, I went to a lot of colleges. I like studying, so I did a few things. And my first job was at Hamleys. I was a toy demonstrator.
Oh,
that would still be my job if I'm not doing this, I think, one day.
Can you remember what your toys were that you were demonstrating?
It's the best toy, don't get jealous. It's the remote control Legos.
Oh, what a job. I wish I could get paid, but I'm getting paid now to be a demonstrator at Hamleys. That'd be my dream job. Can you imagine it? Just all day. Yeah, wait, do you like these aeroplanes?
I was a pretty good seller. I was top seller. I was good.
I bet you were. So, the Barber China, so you'll come across a lot of the top guys, because I think China's producing, same as the UK, you're producing a lot of top barber names, like rock stars in barbering. I was out there in 2019. If I remember, it was a big competition, and Walsh did a show there, and it was in like a pavilion. Can you remember? I don't know if you were there or not.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Shanghai. No, it wasn't. It was in. It wasn't.
It was in Ningbo.
Ningbo.
It was in Ningbo, in the city where the factory is.
That's right, because we stayed in Shanghai, and we got a really cool train from Shanghai to Ningbo. Gary, these trains are fantastic. They're like massive. They're like 4 or 5 seats in a row. They were really good, really quick and really good.
I heard you have very good tour guide.
Yes, I did. We had Jane and we had Anna, and it was good, and they looked after us. I did like it. We went downtown. We went to one of our Anna's shops, which is Is it Doc Barnett's?
Dots. It's funny because I didn't know Anna. I actually knew Dylan before when he was running the tattoo shop, and I got my tattoo at the back from his old tattoo shop.
Let's have a look at your tattoo. What those you got?
I got dragonflies, and
nice.
also various others, because when I used to live in London, it rains all the time, but the dragonflies can fly low, means the summer is about to come, approaching. So I like dragonflies. It announced the approach of summer.
Lin Lin, just ask Simon, show you his tattoos.
Simon, would you mind showing me your tattoos?
I have to take it off, but yeah, I have a full sleeve all down here, all down this arm here. So there's loads. And I've got a signature there saying "Don't judge me till you know me." I've got birds on there. I've got Lady of the Sea. There's loads of different bits and pieces.
You know what is interesting? In China, we have a lot of tattoo shops together with barber shops.
Same here.
Yeah.
So the barber shops together with tattoo shops, with bars, with bespoke suits, with cafes. I mean, these are the I love the fact that they're very creative, because Gary mentioned that, traditionally barbers were from, when you became barber educators or barbers, you previously you are either hairdressers or learning barber as a trade. But the young generation of Chinese barbers, they're actually they study IT, because we started a course for testing to teach like complete beginners, and we have IT workers, we have set designers, theatre set designers, we have computer science gigs, engineers, and it's a very interesting background that they finish school and they want to be barbers.
Yeah,
and I like that.
Gary, you'd think as well, looking when I've been to some of the barbershops in China as well, they're very similar to the UK. They're really modern. You've got some that's kind of retro, but the barbering scene is really strong, especially in Shanghai. And so the talent out there as well is massive. It's not like, they're a couple of years behind the UK or the US. They're not. They're right up there. The barbering scene is very, very strong in China. Very strong.
So Lin, so the government's they're backing the education side of barbering as well. You're working quite close with government as well, departments, as we do with the BBA. So that's something you're working very close with as well, I guess.
Yes. So basically, like the UK, they're not forcing license like US. We do have very well thought out hairdressing courses, but we do not have structured barbering educations. And I thought this is something that we need. It's not just the technique. I think what we need most is something more like service, communications, hygiene, how you look after your people. I think one of the big reasons for the barbershop industry to be booming is because, like any other subculture, which I studied back in college, my dissertation is about subculture. It started as a subculture. It started as the look of influence of like this retro look or gentleman look or hip hop or the West Coast hip hop. And then it comes to, you know, the music, and then everything comes in, and then became imitating skills, techniques, styles. And then they realized that if you don't like to talk, it's okay too, because men's are very straightforward, and men's are open to, you know, once you have a, you know, a clipper or pair of scissors so close to him, he's kind of like, all right, you know. So we kind of have to surrender to it. But I think the interesting part is that the barbers here are craving to learn, and what you can learn from the master barber in their shop is their own learning. So some of them adopt like guitar sassoon, some of the Mizutani's lessons, and some of the Wahl's courses, and the combination of those became and put in their own flavor, and they became their shop's staple teaching. But so far, China, we work closely with the chamber, as well as the authority that centralized governs all the licensing, including driving license and accounts license. So what I'm proposing, which my job sitting in the All China Federation Chamber of Commerce for Beauty, I sit in the chair to propose that we registered barbering education as part of the formal skill associations teaching education files in the central government for education. So this will require us to collect some of the best teaching tools from all over the world, and basically put together something that belongs to subserving the Chinese barbering industry.
The thing is, Lin, that happened in the UK probably 22, 23 years ago. You know, we didn't have any barbering qualifications. We developed it. I was part of the team that did that. And it's a massive job. I mean, it was a big job for the UK, and it's still ongoing. We're still kicking against the door almost. But I mean, for the size of job you've got in China, is huge. So you've got a big heart to do that as well. So I'm sure you'll be successful. And anything we can do as part of the BBA, and I'm sure, Simon, we'll help you, and we'll be in for the ride as well. So I'm sure we can work together. I'm
sure the guys at Wahl will be working with you closely as well. I think you're doing some great stuff. It's been an honour to interview you. Thank you for getting up so early and having a shot of tequila at 5:05.
My pleasure.
You've done superb, and we hope that we have you back on Barber's Arms with maybe some barbers that you fetch on as well, and we have a real Chinese theme night where, you know, we just have all Chinese barbers on there, and you're on there as well.
I would like that.
Great Barber's Arms. And me and Gas can order some Chinese food, and we can have a proper Chinese evening.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds good. I'm like a major D. Yes, I would do that.
Listen, you've been an amazing guest, one of the most memorable guests we've had on the 84 episodes. You've done superb tonight, well, this morning. So thank you for getting up. Thank you for putting the effort in. Well done getting through the traumatic time of having 50,000 people locked in an exhibition. You speak fantastically well. I'm sure that show and the future of the Barbering Expos in China is very safe in the hands of you and your family. So well done. I look forward when we can travel to China. I look forward to hooking up with you and your boyfriend and Anna and the guys out there. We have a beer together and a meal. It'd be nice to see you out there.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. Thank you both. You look great, by the way.
Sorry?
I said you both look wonderful. Oh, I like you, very well groomed and very well dressed.
Well, thank you. And so to finish, Lin Lin, it's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully we'll be collaborating very soon in the second half of this year, and we will see you in China very, very soon.
Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye.
Good
Thank you.
interview. Wow. I could just listen. You know, like somebody who's so articulate, but somebody who's like young, got her head screwed on though, and like, you know, the Wahl family have done that quite a lot. They've sent a lot of the 4G guys out to Germany for a year. We had Kevin Wahl over with us for 2 years. You know, and she's gone out from her family and gone to London and travelled a bit, come back and got all them experiences. And she takes shots of tequila at 5 a.m. in the morning. Wow, what a bird. Unbelievable.
Fantastic. She speaks very well. And obviously, I mean, I know her background a little bit. She sits on some really influential boards, and obviously she's got her head screwed on, but she's come from good stock, hasn't she? I mean, she's, you know, when they come, they've been running the major shows all over China for the last 35 years. It's
unbelievable.
Yeah, fantastic.
Guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it. I've got a quick meeting to get to, actually, believe it or not. But it's been great to have the guests on. Thanks to Jack Maude, thanks to Lin Lin. Superb tonight, guys. We have done an hour and a half, so we're not too far away from finishing anyway. We're having a few weeks off now. Gary's really busy in his shops. It's busy at Wahl, and we've got Easter periods coming up. But we will be next with you live from Dubai. We fly out on the 18th, 19th of April. So within that week or week after, you'll be seeing a live episode. We'll put it on near the time, but we're going to be doing a live episode from Dubai. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, guys, stay busy, be positive, take loads of money, be nice to each other and stay safe. Have a great weekend and happy Mother's Day to all them fantastic mothers out there who do so much for us. Wait, listen, without us mums, we won't be here. Just think of that one. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simon Shaw. And we are going to wrap tonight. As he said, we might have a few odd podcasts in between, so it's going to be a long time. Our producer is safe journeys. He starts traveling for a month worldwide, as Simon said, next week. Remember, we put the clocks forward this weekend. British summertime starts this weekend. I'm sure we've all had some sun all around the country this week. It's been absolutely lovely. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday, Mr. Shaw. Everybody else,
Sunday.
enjoy Saturday.